We hear a lot of talk about sacrifice. Unfortunately, in these days, we also hear a lot of talk about death. Of course, in our world today, death and sacrifice seem to be synonymous. Death is the ultimate act of sacrifice, or so we're told. This is something that we all know so much that we have probably all said something along the lines of, I would die for this, or I would die for that, or that's a cause worth dying for, or I would die for that person or for this country. And to be fair and be clear, there are a lot of noble people who have died for the sake of others, who have given their lives so that others could live. And we would do well to honor and to respect that real sacrifice. We need to remember also that Jesus knew a lot about sacrifice. I would argue that he knows more about sacrifice than any human being has ever known. He talks about this in John 15. And he says, "This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends." Now, it's so easy for us to read this and think, well, Jesus is talking about death. He's talking about dying for another person. That's the ultimate act of sacrifice. And after all, Jesus did die. And it's easy to think that dying for someone is the ultimate act of love. But listen to me. Death is not what Jesus is talking about here. It's not what he means when he says lay down your life. What he means is change the purpose of your life. Change the focus of your life. Each one of us has a focus, a purpose in our lives. And for most of us, it's ourselves. It's how we take care of us. And we're taught to do this. We are taught to make ourselves happy, that this is an important aspect of our lives. It's your life, live it for you, and don't worry about anyone else. The problem with that is it makes us individualistic. My life is about me, and I will not lay it down for another person. But there are events in life that cause us to love so much that we do lay down our lives. One event is when you become a parent. When this happens, and most parents understand this, our love for our children cause us to gladly lay down our lives, our focus for them. We begin to live everything that we do for them. We invest in them. We work for them. We learn for them. Everything that we do is for them. And that's exactly what Jesus did. You see, in his great love for us, he was born. He became flesh. That event that happened in that major 2,000 years ago was the literal manifestation of God's love for us, the ultimate sacrifice. He lived for us. He came, he touched people, he became a part of the community. And everywhere that he went, he invited people to be healed, to know him, to know love. But that's difficult for us. Because here's the reality, whether we like to hear it or not. It's easier to die for someone than to live for someone. Anybody can die. You're going to do that without even trying. But it's difficult to live for somebody. It's difficult for us to lay down our desires and even the pressures of this world for the sake of another human being. But true love, the love of God, is found in life, not in death. Your neighbors, your community, they need you to live, to share hope, to share encouragement, to invest in them and to show them that they have the ability to live as well. You're commanded to love the way God has loved you. And his love for you caused him to take on flesh, to restore community, to heal, to speak hope into this world. So yes, he died for you, but then he came back to life for you. Do not leave your God on the cross, because a dead God is not a God of the scriptures. His ultimate sacrifice was living for you. You want to engage in the ultimate act of love? Then sacrifice your life and live to show love to others. Because here's the reality. Anybody can die. But only love can cause us to live. That's something worth considering.